Well, good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? This is Guido coming at you with a coffee talk from the left side of the Atlantic with my coffee.
And it's Pilgrim from the correct side of the Atlantic without a Guido mug to... No, I was lying. There it is. The
Oh yeah,
Guido mug
oh
with the
yeah.
tea. Let's chill.
Buy a mug. You can actually cook out in a mug.
I see, I'm learning these words.
Yeah.
You've Americanizing me. You are. I know what a cookout is now, you see.
Just
I
put a
didn't
couple
last
pieces
week.
of charcoal down in there, and then lay the hot dog across the top, and you have a airsats grill.
It's a portable grill.
Yeah,
Put it in your back pocket.
yeah. Tie it to your
There you
neck.
go.
Tie it to your.
Tied to your neck. Tied on a chain round your neck.
A long chain, then put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Is that a Guido mug in your pocket, or are you just happy to see us? I
At
don't
least
know.
there you go, you see. And then you can do the grind that goes with the name.
That's a horrendously bad idea. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Randall, Stickler, Terrapin. Yes, it is early, my friend. This is what we do on Sunday for some insane reason, but we do enjoy it. Stickler, I think I said Wayne. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. You should be getting drops off of this stream. So I think it's the timing drops, the VE Day drop stuff. So watch for that. You can check that up in your up on your Twitch something or other settings area of some kind. So should be enabled the VE Day stuff. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. We were just chatting. Stop doing that. You dumb. Is this where I got the cursor all over Pilgrim's face? I think it is.
It's normal form. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Oh, dog, how you doing? We were chatting earlier, and I was talking about how I had spent the day out moving sand in my backyard on the ongoing saga of the paver project.
It's like the 100 battle challenge, but harder.
Ah, man, I am beat up, man. But there's a kind of I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. There's kind of a satisfaction involved
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it. You know?
There's that endorphin kicking
Yeah,
letdown, isn't it? It's the well, done a good job there.
yeah, yeah. I should have taken a picture of the pile of dirt before and after because I did the whole thing myself, wheelbarrow at a time, from the
With a
front
flat tire.
garden to the back garden.
Garden. Hey,
Interesting.
Guido.
Interesting you say that. The flat tire. I did have one, and I had to go. It's a wheelbarrow I've had for probably 10, 12 years, and this is the third tire I bought for it. But it's held together through 3 tires. The tires apparently are the weak point on cheap wheelbarrows.
Well, you see, isn't that telling you a story if you've had 3 punches? What's that telling you? Come on, use your common noggin. Use this.
Well, I mean, they're just crappy tires. They're made in China.
No, just buy a solid wheel for it. Don't even get it
This
pneumatic. Why do you
one,
need pneumatic?
this one is a run flat, more or less solid, but it has a little bit of air in it. So in theory, if it runs out of air, it's supposed to still work.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you get it from? Walmart.
No, the big box store, the I don't know, Lowe's, or we have a place called Lowe's and a place
Okay.
called
All right. So
Home
it's a
Depot.
fairly okay. So there is a quality level there somewhere, but 3 punches? I'd be questioning that. I
Yeah.
really would.
Wayne got a drop, and Stickler wants to know where his drop is, but I think we banned Stickler's drops just a while ago.
You remember us discussing this off air about Stickler's drops?
Yeah.
Because he keeps going on holiday, doesn't he? You can't have that.
Yeah, if you don't put in a minimum amount of watching my streams, I'd turn your drops off.
Yeah, I don't get drops.
Totally.
I watch the stream. I don't get it long enough.
Well, I mean there's obvious reasons for that. I mean, come on. How much damage have you done to my win rate by platooning with me?
Oh, significant amount, I suggest at the moment. It's like it's like you've now had to transfer to the A10s and fly warthogs for a living.
Yeah. Actually, our win rates are pretty dang good when we platoon, for sure. All right, guys, welcome to the stream. We just decided to go off into a random tangent, as always, at the very beginning.
Why not?
What else we got going on here? All right, so 100 Battle Challenge is ongoing. I actually just finished the G-Sor. And I have to tell you guys, I don't dislike it as much as I used to. I think is the best that can be said about it. But I did play 100 battles in it, and let's see what happened here. I ended up with a 61% win rate. I actually did pretty well with it towards the end. Once I figured out how to not get killed. I
Yeah.
mean, it,
How to survive.
it sounds stupid, but this is an easy tank to get killed in because you're like, I have this 320 alpha. Is that what it is? 360, 320. What is it? 320. So you go running in there. I have 320 alpha shots. I shall destroy. And then you shoot 4, you pin 1, bounce 2, and miss the other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then you have 14 days to reload, right? You got to go set up camp, and actually you have to order it on Amazon. Probably actually Amazon could actually reload this thing faster than the crew can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's a premium service with Amazon, isn't it? That's why it is.
So yeah, exactly, Stickler. Empty the clip itis. This one is one you have to watch for that, like a hawk, and be very careful. And then of course the question is, when do I hit C and reload? You know, do I take 3 shots? Do I want to get that last shot off? Do I want to reload? Do I only take 1 shot and then go, crap, I'd really like to have my whole clip back, and now you're out for 40 seconds? That was tough to get through, but I did eventually get much better at it. It's ended up with 61%.
It's got a fairly slow turret as well, hasn't it? So the problem is you can't do that quick snapshots with it either.
It does, but it's not too
It's
bad.
time for that turret to come round. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Not quite as painful as the American ones. I think it's a little faster than the American ones.
Right.
I don't think it's in this. The Hall of Fame is languished. What is going on here? Because they don't pay attention to it. Yeah, it's not even in here. So point I'm trying to make as I babble incoherently is there's a lot of tanks that are not in the Hall of Fame because they just have ignored it for years.
Well, they've ignored the whole thing, but there's a conflict with, and I might be stupid here, and you're going to put me right, but there's a conflict in all of this information that they give you. For example, let me just find mine. If I go to my ratings, World of Tanks rating. Now, this is the question I was going to ask you. My World of Tanks ratings is different to my personal rating. Why? My PR.
One of them is lifetime, and the other one is a different period, I think.
Oh, is it? So
I
PR
think,
will be
yeah,
lifetime.
yeah, I think so. And
then it's what you're currently up to, because it keeps. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I get it, because it's moving now.
and then I've seen down here in the bottom right. I don't know if it'll come up people won't see it if I do it, will they? Yeah, you can see it rising above our pictures there. But when you get into the stats thing, and sometimes you see your WTR is different than what is listed.
Yeah,
That's like a session WTR, and then it actually does some real time. Sometimes it's real time calculations. Sometimes it's tomorrow you get it's hard to keep track of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
And there's imperial PR and metric PR. That's right.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Happy days. Yeah, because I always figure, whenever we platoon up, and there's 3 of us in the platoon, I'm the one with the lowest PR or WR or wherever it is. I'm thinking, I'm always the sad character at the bottom of this pile, me.
Every group of people has that guy.
7 or 8 and 9,000.
Every group of people has that guy. I mean, someone's got to be last.
Well, yeah, I've always said if you're at the bottom, you're the strongest member of the team because you're holding the rest up. So I'm happy to be bottom because I can be Hercules all day long.
Atlas. 100 Battle Challenge is ongoing, so GSOR was the last one. I didn't play in the EU this week. Next stream, guys, will be Monday afternoon for Stack Up. I hope. I didn't look at the schedule. I know I'm in the afternoon, so we'll see. I think that's the plan. And Friday's my next day off, so don't expect one until Friday. But COVID has been kind to my schedule, so you never know. As usual, I may pop up in the middle of the week, but I just don't have a date or time for any of that. We do have drops today, I already mentioned. Guido Grind. Make sure you... Actually, I need to test that because I don't know if mine's works. Anybody... If mine's works.
Please, Lord, make my mouth work.
I don't know if mine works. Has anybody tried that one?
Sparky will have done. Sparky's in the house. He's already done it. I bet he has.
I'm going to have to make a throwaway Gmail account and figure that out. Okay. Missions and specials. Let's shill, Pilgrim, shall we?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Let's see what's going on in the old shopperino here, guys. And as always, this is the one thing I should probably... Wait, what? It came right up?
No, get away.
What?
Wow. See, I told you you'd hide a crew chief, haven't you? You have, haven't you? Yeah. You're looking good today.
I have no idea how that happened. I should play it off like I meant it to happen that way, but I don't have any idea how that happened. All right. So we go into the shop. What do we got, guys? We've got the Berlin 4 is back. Didn't they add a 5th tank to that? Is there one missing that's usually in there?
Didn't they? Yes, they did, didn't they?
122.
I'm sure there was more.
Cromwell B. Furry. Is it the Furry?
No, the Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt. And IS-2. What was the other one that used to be in there? They added one at one point, I thought. Rudy.
Yes.
Was it the Rudy?
I was going to say another Sherman variant, but actually now you say Rudy, that does ring a bell. It did start as a trio.
It did start as a trio, but I thought at one point it got to 5. I thought at one point a while back it got up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. There was a big hype around the Berlin map, and that was part of it.
So anyway, however you want to slice it, it's back at $69. None of these are tier 8s. There are 2 7s and 2 6s in there. IS-2 is pretty good. It's not the best of the IS variants, but it's not. I'd say it's solidly in the middle of them. The Fury is a serviceable Sherman variant. Nothing great or
10
bad.
degrees of depression on it as well, so you know.
Cromwell B is widely considered one of the better tier 6 premium mediums. I don't particularly like it because the gun is so derpy, but it is mobile, gets around, and Wayne says Cromwell's good, so a lot of people really like it. I think it's fine. I just prefer the tech tree one.
I prefer the tech tree one. Yeah.
The only thing about that is the tech tree one doesn't make extra credits and experience, so there you have it. The 122S is an odd duck, but it can drop the pain down range because it shoots really fast. Its DPM is pretty outrageous. Originally was the Rudy, IS-2, and IS-122. There you go. Bitwise got it. Yeah, so the Rudy's fallen off. It got kicked out of the Berlin Trio for Quadra.
Was it good enough?
Why you got a bag on Rudy like that?
I don't know. It's just Rudy. It's just what he's like. You know what he's like.
There was a movie back in the day called Rudy, American movie, about the kid that walked on to the Notre Dame football team.
All right.
God, it's a great movie, man. Great movie.
Cool.
Standard, terrible, not really a great player, but had all the heart.
Talking movies, you'll know this, right? Has Ghost Rider got a sequel? You remember the old Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage?
Not that I'm aware of, but I think they're making one.
Okay.
I think they were talking about making one, yeah.
Because I've seen it advertised on YouTube. I was like, oh, get on the Apple, see if I can find it. And I couldn't find it and everything because it was looking pretty hairy, really quite useful. Yeah, sorry, anyway.
No. Cliffy says
you guys
that...
are with all that sort of stuff. So
Cliffy says the history was wrong on Rudy. What was wrong with it?
Oh, is it?
Well, it's a movie, so they always have to take some liberties.
Yeah.
There was another movie like that. It's the exact same thing, but for the professionals. In Rudy was kind of a jerk. Oh, really? Oh, so he wasn't the happy-go-lucky. Yeah, that's usually how it is. That, like stories like that, you find out there's some key thing is wrong. Person's a jerk, or it didn't quite go that way. But the other one was the Eagles, the professional football team in Philadelphia. During there was a football strike back in I think it was the 80s, as I recall, 80s or early 90s maybe. I mean, I remember it. So they brought in replacement players, and they had an open workout or an open talent call or whatever. Open tryout, which NFL teams don't do. Wahlberg exactly, Wahlberg. That's a great movie, man, because that's true as well. And that guy played for 2 or 3 years for the Eagles. He actually made the team. Then he had a couple like these crazy plays where he won games or was a huge part of winning a game and stuff. That was fun too. I don't remember what that was called. Yeah, Stickler's like, I do not speak the word.
Well, that's a Midwest thing, isn't it? I
Stickler,
guess.
just as a fond memory of the past when it didn't bother you. The Replacements. No, The Replacements was an ensemble movie about the same idea, but I don't think it was historical in terms of. It might have been in terms of that time period, but that was a movie where kind of the same thing happened. There was a strike or something, and all the misfits came out and tried to play football.
See, you see, it's almost a contradiction in terms when a sports person goes on strike because. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I mean, it's a sport. It's not a job, is it? You know, it's you go out having a bit of fun on a football field or a baseball diamond or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a job.
Yeah.
So you can't go on strike. You go, all right, I'm not going to run around that field today. I'm on strike.
Yeah, the
Okay,
movie
so
was
that's
called
not-
Invincible. I don't know though, Pilgrim, because I hear what you're
not a
saying,
job.
and I get it, but they really do, air quotes work. Yes, they work, and again, they got to work out, they got to practice. Like, if you're Tom Brady or the guys at the very top end, your whole life is that. I mean, it's not like they just get up on Sunday and go, well, I guess I'll go make my bazillion dollars, and then from
like my veterans rugby that I used
yeah,
to do.
from Monday to Saturday, they drink, party, and
Yeah.
chase women. Some do.
Bah, I didn't
Some
do
do.
that.
They don't last very
Yeah,
long,
some
but some do that. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
No,
All right.
to me, look, if you've got a job, see, the difference is my job doesn't kick in the endorphins and give me a buzz at the end of the day. No way, Jose. But if I was out on the rugby pitch every day, I'd be kicking in with the endorphins a little bit. I'd be like, this is fun.
You
and I'm
don't
actually
get
being
that.
paid for it.
You don't get that order on email or in the system and just go, let's fill
No.
this order. Come on, guys.
Fills me with a sense of despondency. I seriously want to hang myself at the end of each day.
Oh, no, you can't talk like that. That was probably a violation of the terms of service of
Yeah,
Twitch.
something like that.
Just for the moderators, he's kidding. You can't kid
No,
about
I-
that.
No, I would never advocate that. That's not something I'm advocating. Figuratively, I just
Yeah.
don't want to be at work at all. Doesn't do anything with the endorphins.
All right, the endorphins hit when you go out the door and you're headed home.
Yeah, that's it. That's where it's at. As soon as I get in the car and turn the ignition on, I'm like that. Oh, this is good.
And that took a while to get through the quartet. So anyway, there's the
The quartet.
quartet, and there's NFL football and endorphins and all kinds of stuff. You can still
All
get
the
the
sorts of
pack, whatever this is, 36. Is that what it is? Pack 40, FCM 36 pack 40. That's still out there.
Yeah.
I think the new guys into the shop are the Skirta T27 medium and entirely average to slightly below average autoloader.
Yeah.
Desperately needs a buff. It's not really very good. And then the 40 LT432, which is a very good tier 8.
I do like that.
Medium?
I do like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Litium, maybe?
Lithium.
Lithium,
I sort of
yeah.
play it like a light, but it works well. It's very
Yeah.
low. Very low.
Yeah, that thing is pretty darn good. And I didn't realize, you told me earlier, the 59 is still in there. So I don't...
Yes. Now we're going to have this discussion on two levels now, Guido.
Okay.
Now you brought the subject up,
Okay.
right? I've two things. If I was going to spend, what is it in dollars? I can't see on the screen. What for that? What is it?
79, $80.
Right, okay. $80. If I were going to spend $80 out of the shop, I wouldn't get a single tank. I'd go back and get the quartet. I think that's a brilliant deal because the quartet also has brothers in arms skill trained to 100% for each of the crews and everything else. So that, and
that's
plus
true.
gold and all the rest. It's a good deal. However, saying that, because I have Type 59G envy going on, I've decided to take one of my WZs and paint it gold. Now, you're telling me you can't get gold in the garage on paint schemes, but you can get nearest to it if you fill it full of emblems and decals, which are gold coloured. So, I now have a WZ. Next time we platoon and you bring that special gold tank
So you
of
have the
yours in,
WZ Bling.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one.
All right.
So, and I've got an inscription in Chinese on the side, and we've discussed what that inscription is. I'm not going to repeat it on air.
Something like Guido is awesome, I believe is what it says.
Exactly that.
I love gold tanks.
Yeah. Yeah, Type 59 yellow.
The Y, yeah, the Type 59Y.
Yep, there you go. I'm sorted now. You can't get one over on me now.
Actually, that brings up that brings up an idea for me. I could get my regular. Did I tell you that I have a regular 59 also?
Maybe you did. It may have escaped me.
Maybe I. So what I'll do with that one is I will paint that one gold, and I'll have 2 gold Type 59s.
Right. We need to get onto Wargaming to reduce the CC's ability to paint their tanks with any colour
Yeah.
that resembles gold. Right. Okay. I'm on it now. I'm PMing Domo as we speak. That's it.
For whatever reason, these packages are still in here with the 59 and the Lorraine and all these things. So these are all pretty good tanks. We talked about all that stuff last week. Gold, there's really nothing to add in there. I'm gonna tell you, we were discussing this. This is another one of those kind of dead weeks.
It's a struggle.
Yeah, it's hey, what's the big thing that's coming? I think there has to be a marathon on the horizon pretty soon, I believe.
Doesn't it feel like we haven't had one for ages?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like
But
that.
what tank were you talking about? We're talking about that thing we talked about last week.
Which one?
Can't remember. Yeah, the
I think it's gonna be the Czech Premium.
Czech.
Yeah.
Czech Premium.
But I don't know how close the heavies are to being released. So, of course, if the premium's ready, they can do that, and then they can keep working on the rest of the line. Well, we'll see what happens there. Nothing on premium count for vehicles. We already basically looked at it. The Quartet, the starter pack, and the Ultimate starter pack are still out there for the big fish. A bunch of exclusive stuff for Prime Gaming that I have.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, man. There's nothing else.
There's these
no
daily
showing.
deals, but they're not kicking in yet. I don't know what that is.
Remember, that was last year, and I just watched another article. I wanted to talk about that. That's where the 4 cards come up each day, and you can pick one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it was various stuff.
Okay,
Some
cool.
things were credits, some were gold, some were cash, I think, as I recall. I don't know if there was any bond stuff or not from last year, and somebody in chat might remember.
Yeah.
But that's what all that was. So I don't
Right.
remember.
To see my cup of tea.
Yeah.
See the bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
See that, right?
Yeah.
In Scotland, and you'll know this, or you won't know this, but I'm telling you anyway. It's called "You're in the money." You're in the money, la. You've got a foamy cup of tea. Every one of them bubbles is a £1 coin, according to folklore.
Really?
So if you get a bubbled up cup of tea like that, you're a rich man. There you are. So Wargaming, pay me my 10% for being on this channel. Then I've got the bubbles. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent. There you go. I just noticed the bubbles, that's all.
Does it count for coffee?
No, it's going to be tea.
Wouldn't matter because I wouldn't be in the money. I have no bubbles. None. I don't know if you could upgrade the card. Somebody just asked that question. It's a good question. I don't remember if you could upgrade it.
And I think there's the Czech Heavy will be an autoloader, is it not?
It is. It's a
not the
2-shot autoloader, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
2-shot autoloader. So I don't know when that would be, but would they wait till after Battle Pass, or do you think Battle Passes will be back to back? This was some math we were trying to figure out earlier, because they're 90 days. So math in public, that's 270 days, and then you get into Christmas. I don't know if there's going to be any breaks on that, and I suppose Battle Pass would work with a marathon. You're still going to be grinding tanks, and so they would be happening at the same time, all together and at the same time.
Because if you, I mean, we talked about this before. A lot of the times, this stuff goes on in the background. You don't even focus on it. So something like the marathon, you would focus on, but then Battle Pass would be collecting in the background. I would assume in your mind. You know what I mean? That's how I would operate.
So I don't think there's anything mutually exclusive from a marathon taking away from Battle Pass or Battle Pass taking away from marathon. They would both work at the same time. So hopefully soon we'll have some kind of marathon action going on. And yeah, okay. Actually, I probably can't actually talk about that. I was just thinking.
No,
Never mind.
but that'll make money. That'll make money. This, you see, and I get this. The company will, I mean, Wargaming will have a financial aspect to that because if they're running both, people are more likely to try and get one finished quicker, or
Sure.
put more effort in, more games, and obviously, whatever expenditure that brings out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would expect one soon, guys. Actually, I would expect one soon. Not soon as in Monday or Thursday or something, but in the next few weeks, I think.
Cool.
Maybe month at the most. All right, what else we got going on here? We've got, fellas, the 76th anniversary of Victory Day in Europe. This is important. If you missed it, I am going to help you right now. Most of you have probably seen this, but look at these discounts. The big ones are consumables, fellas. It's 50% off on consumables. Now, that being said, Pilgrim, tell the people how to best leverage the sale.
Well, what you do, because it's 50% credits, you buy as much as you can now.
Yep.
And then when it's off, you sell them again.
Sell them back. Twice your money.
Sell them back. You make twice your money. Now, this is fact now because it's on the forum. It's fact.
It's on the forum. So, guys, Pilgronomics has now moved into the official forum. Some of you have probably seen this, but alert, sell today at 100%, buy tomorrow at 50. So he went the opposite direction.
Yeah.
He's like, sell what you have and then buy it back at half price. Not exactly. Poor 13 Jake 55. God bless him. He definitely was onto something for just a moment. He was definitely onto something. So yeah.
He's one of my students, by the way.
The Pilgrim.
Yeah. I've got a open university course running for Pilgronomics, and he's one of my students. He does very well at it. Actually, he's a grade A student. He's on the board.
Well, you know how you have scientists who come up with a theory, and then they have the young understudy who takes that theory and turns it in, figures out a different angle of it and expands the theory overall. I think that's what young Jake did, because he saw your theory and he said, well, but what if we front loaded it? Like, let's not do it at the end. Let's front load the sales and then buy back. And so.
Oh dear, oh dear. As I said, he is the grade A student.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the only one I've got at the moment.
He's 100% taking it to heart. So
yeah, absolutely.
No, I think he realized. Everybody jumped in like, "Hey, dude, I don't think that's exactly how that works." And he's like,
"Some people were very kind."
He's like,
"Some people were quite kind." Yeah. Unlike you lot, were never kind to me when I did it.
bunch of jerks. Garage slots are 50% off. Customizations, as you said, the free XP is the best you get at 1 to 40. 1 gold to 40. Regular vehicles, discount for vehicles, I won't go through those, you can read that. And then gold vehicles are discounted. Now here's something that will help you, actually. If you have extra gold laying around and you do not have, especially tier 5 vehicles, grabbing them at a 50% gold discount, because you get gold compensation for things like Christmas and other events where you are awarded one of these things, you will actually make money in that case. Now, it's a bit of a gamble because you don't know if you're going to end up getting it, but I will tell you that during Christmas, because I have nearly every tier 5 that they ever put in these boxes and different events that they do, I get a lot of gold compensation over the year because I have those things in my garage. So you're buying them for half, and then when you get the compensation, you'll get twice your money, provided you hit that, noted. And some of those tier 5s are actually pretty cool vehicles, so something to think about on that one. Really, same thing for the tier 6 and 7, but you're only getting a 30% discount.
Yeah.
All right, there's some missions for military parade stuff. There's all kinds of consumables and things. We'll take a look at that in a minute in the UI. I'm pretty far along. I think I'm still trying to finish up the last of part 3, where you get all these goodies right here. That one took a little while longer because it's be in the top 9, and you have to do it 9 times. You can do that 3 times, which is 27 times. I just haven't played that much this weekend. But all these are fairly easy to get through. There's also Mother's Day missions. We'll take a look at those as well. All right.
Stickler got drops. How did he do that? I thought we'd got him blocked off.
Oh, jeez. I'll let anybody in this place. I'll let anybody in this place.
True Chief sack.
The code is Death Star. Commander AF's code is Death Star.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah, some of it. Yeah.
It's very naughty. She's very naughty, you know, because she put the word Death Star, and then the shadowed out highlight behind looked very much like the Death Star, and then she almost clicked her fingers, and it was some German crappy thing. She said, "Don't even think about getting the Death Star." She said, "Can you imagine the carnage that would happen if we put a Death Star on for a 3-day rental?"
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah, I thought when I first started watching it was going to be the actual. That would be pretty funny.
The game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked daily deals, so I think that's it for missions and specials as far as the website goes. Let's take a quick look into the UI. Let's see what's going on in here. Triple on track. We're going to talk about that a little while later, but there are 3 on tracks going on. Looks like the Bat Chat, the Mod 65, Progetto 65. Watt Salute is standard, and the WZ-111. So those are the 3 on tracks. Military Parade, this one I was talking about earlier. And here's the one that's taken me the longest, and probably will take you the longest, because it's just 27 times in the top 9. That's a weird number.
Isn't it weird?
Why is it top 9 and not top 10? Has somebody actually run some numbers and go, all right, the real cutoff we want is top 9, not 10? Otherwise,
you would think that, wouldn't you? Because why? You know, because the top 10 is 2/3 of the team, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that might be a pretty a mathematical kind of marketing / numbers thing. They looked at it and went, all right, the drop off for bots and people who aren't contributing is really at 10, not at 9.
I mean, the number 9 is not significant, is it? It wasn't the 9th of May VE Day.
Maybe it was. Maybe it is significant.
Oh, 9 nations in the game. No, Cliffy's saying there could be a correlation with the number 9.
9 nations in the game. All right, I'll accept that. That's possible. There you go. There you go. But it's noteworthy because it's usually 10. So whatever the reason is, they've changed it. I don't know if that's going to be something going on in the future or what, but there you have it. Slightly harder than usual, let's put it that way, by 1. All these are pretty easy, though. Damage caused, base experience earned, just 3 times. You can go through that 3 times and you get those goodies each time you do it. This one was just damage 45 and you got the decals 1945 and victory star, yada yada. So this is the one. I might not even get to that today. I still have to do 5 more, so we'll see. I may not play that much today. All right, community hunting, standard act. Wait a minute. Do we have 4 things on track? 1?
Well, the E3, the
2,
WZ,
3,
and the Bat Chat.
How do we have 4? There's 4.
Progetto 4. Wow.
Is that?
Didn't even know that.
I don't know. 1 might be finishing today or something, potentially. Let's look at this.
Okay. 1st of June for
May
the
20th.
E3.
June 1st.
Oh, no. There you go. It's on at least for another 10 days. The Bat Chat's been on the loop. Well, there you go. You find out first on this channel, people. You do.
Does anybody have any idea what's going on there?
Oh, dear.
All right, that's funny. There are currently, apparently, according to this... Wait a minute. Wait. Is the start date... Maybe it hasn't started. April 20th. It's May 1st. All right, it hasn't started. This is a... All right, this one hasn't started.
Yes, it has.
That May... Oh, right. It is May. God bless. I thought it was... Yeah, I thought it was April. That's Pilgrinomics for dates.
Yep, that's it. See, you're
So,
another student of mine.
That's May. That starts in May. 2 of them start in May. 3 of
7th
them...
of May is Military Parade. It's not
3 of them start in May.
Yeah. See,
They've started an extra one for some reason.
Well, the Bat Chat was the oldest of the lot, wasn't it? It was
Okay,
20th
so
of
maybe
April
this is just resetting it. Those are the 3 that. Okay, so these are the first 3 that are going to be the 3 The bat chat's just ending from the last set. That's what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have just this weird situation where for right now, there's 4 going on. Okay.
Yeah.
We figured that out, but that took a long time. Military parade we just talked about, on track. Here's Commander AF's mission. It's more chocolate, so 5,000 damage for the Death Star thing. Cobra is still ongoing, and that's going to end in about a week. Most people should have that done if you've got the Cobra thing. Mother's Day was easy, as advertised on their website. Easy missions. These are decals and inscriptions, which look like... Oops, that's not the right tank. Let's go back to the dominant tank in the game. Where's my T-22? There we go. So I've upgraded it. I got rid of Gingerbread Man. I've put Mom Guy on the back of it.
Of course you have.
Yeah, and then I've got Mom right there. So I figure that's probably the best way to run with that. I got a great clip of taking down a 268 with this thing with all HE. It's awesome. Guy comes up and over and tries to take me out. I perma-tracked him and ran around him and eventually killed him, doing 60 to 100 or so damage every time. All right.
Good, Guido. Is it? It's unfrozen now. There we go. Discord is now working. But basically, you were froze on my screen like that, and I was like, "What's he doing?"
No.
There you go. Sorry.
I was telling you a fantastic story about how I took down a 268 with my T-22 HE mobile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Did I freeze up, or was I continue to talk stupidly?
No, I think Cliffy says we all had a little glitch in the system right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, for the third time, just because I want to brag about it, I took down a 268 with the old T-22 HE. All right, cool.
Nice. You've just had a follow from
Hadson 38. Thank you so much. Appreciate the follow. Welcome to the show, Coffee Talk, where we talk sometimes about tanks.
Yeah, not all the time though.
Let's go to subjects du jour, Pilgrim. Let's go to subjects du jour. We don't need to cover Pilgronomics because we already showed the people that. Steel Hunter starts tomorrow. Pilgrim, are you excited?
Yes, I'm on the same level of excitement as I am when I'm at work.
When that big order comes in.
Yeah.
And you got to fill that order. You got to fill that order. You're just like,
yes. Yeah. That's exactly where I'm at with it.
You get the team together, do a huddle.
Yeah. Talking about that, here we go. Talking about getting the team together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know. The transition between civilian and military was somewhat of a misnomer for me, and it's quite difficult to get my head around. Because in the military, you have your early morning briefings. Everybody gets together. Right, guys, this is what's happening today. This is what we're doing. Blah, blah, blah. Any questions? Carry on. And then you have, normally at the end of the day, you have an end of day wash-up. Okay, what did we achieve today? Blah, 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 and all that sort of good stuff, right? So you're constantly exchanging information and getting things, throughout the day as well. You do your thing. But when I first started working in Symmetry, I started at a place called Fortnum & Mason's Warehouse, which, there's lots of all good warehouses out there, but they provide to the Queen's shopping.
And they didn't want to listen to you in the morning, I'm imagining.
You just... So, right, this is what... I'll get to the point. I used to have an early morning briefing with the team, because I was a team leader. So I used to have an early morning briefing with the team. And then I'd have an end-of-day wash-up. Just like you did in the military. And the guys actually loved it because, they had it. But I had a naughty chair. Did you not have a naughty chair when you did your briefing?
No, there was no naughty chair. No.
Well, there was a naughty chair, and on the back of it was naughty chair, right? With a sign. And if anybody cocked up the day before, they had to sit in the naughty chair during the briefings, right? Well, apparently that's not PC. I mean,
no.
I was told, you can't do that. I said, what?
You can't.
I actually sit in the naughty chair because I got something wrong. You know what I mean? You
can't bully people. I'm sorry. You can't tell them they didn't do right.
It gets out of it. It's like, I can do the transition now because I just go to work and don't care anymore. But back then, you're full of fire. You're full of this.
Yeah.
From the military, you're
Oh
full of
yeah.
this can-do attitude,
Oh
and
yeah.
have a bit of camaraderie and all that sort of stuff. Oh no, the manager pulled me in and went, "You have to get rid of the naughty chair." I went, "Why? Do you want it? Do you want it in your office?"
Don't
He
make.
goes, "No, you can't do that."
Do you want it in your office?
I don't know.
We could build a new echelon of naughty chair. You've got my naughty chair and your naughty chair. You got to really cock up to get up to your naughty chair. But hey boss,
The manager's naughty chair.
we can do that if that's what you want.
Oh dear.
The
Anyway, sorry.
first couple days I was after I retired. I mean, I just went and worked for the government again, but I was retired and now at what they call a GS. And you know how it is in the military when you're at work and you're moving, people move fast, right? You walk fast, you got stuff to do. Everyone's kind of, there's no kind of, some people will lollygag, but of course you can tell them right off. But most military people, when they're going somewhere, they're going.
Short, sharp, shit hot.
Yeah, get there. You got stuff to do. Let's do this, let's do that. You got a big day, blah blah blah. And I came out of an office. I was in the boss's office getting some of my paperwork done, and I come blazing out of the office and do a 90 left and start moving down the hallway. And what's funny is it's the same hallways I was walking in a uniform 2-3 months before. I was just in uniform. So I mean, I knew the office, I knew where I was going, I knew the people. I come blazing out, do the 90 left hall. I down thing. I go breezing by one of the older guys who'd been there probably 20 years or so, and another fighter pilot that I'd known for a long, long time. A guy that had actually trained me to fly the Eagle. And I go, his wispy hair kind of floats as I go by because I'm making some, I'm making some steam down the hallway.
You're parting the air as you're moving.
And he turns around, he's like, Guido, and I do the 90 left nearly skidding. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he just pauses for a second, takes a breath. He goes, you got to slow down, man. He goes, you got to slow down. There is nothing we do here that requires you to move that fast.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Here's my other great story. I had a guy that worked for me. He was a avionics guy, aircraft avionics. And he also retired. He worked for me at the end of his career, retired as a mass sergeant. And then got hired on with the civilian maintenance crew at the base who were doing some maintenance. I think they do the maintenance on the drones. It's F-16 maintenance, but it's a civilian GS group.
Yeah.
So he gets a job, goes down there. They're doing his training, and I think it's a contractor actually. Goes out to the jet, and they're like, "All right, we have this blah blah that you need to fix. So it's part of your upgrade. Show us you know how to do that. You got to follow all the TOs and all the regs and everything." He goes out there. He starts blazing through it, and there's 3 or 4 other guys standing around. But these 3 or 4 other guys all have specific jobs of signing stuff up.
Right.
And each one kind of touched the thing that they were fixing and did a specific part of the thing they were fixing. And the job was supposed to take X hours.
Yeah.
And he's getting it done. He's like, boom, 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 and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? We're fixing. Let's get this done. They're like, no, this job. Look at the contract. This job takes 2.5 hours. And he's like, what? He's like, what do you mean it takes? It's.
Yeah.
They're like.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, the billable hours. These are the billable. That's what I got told. That.
And there's 2 levels of supervision standing around that are supposedly critical to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's true because when you're working on jets or things like that, there are people have to QC and make sure everything's done by the book and sign off on it and all the different rules that they have, which is true. But this was very structured. They'd written the contract, and it's like this takes 10 minutes, and this takes 5, and this takes 30, and if you try to do any of that faster, so he's like, it was driving me crazy because it was a 30-minute job, and I'm out there for 2.5 hours, moving as slow as I can. One of the guys will wander away and come back later and do the thing, and it's like it just drove me crazy.
It's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You either adapt and overcome, or you just don't survive. I mean, and I'm not saying every civilian job is like that. There are civilian jobs that are just as structured and just as, nuanced as military. But predominantly, I mean, for me, I went into logistics because it's an easy-ish type job. When I came out of the military, easy-ish. Any logisticians out there, no offence,
Yeah.
but stacking shelves and moving boxes and driving a forklift truck isn't difficult, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went into that. But even and even in that, there was this attitude was, don't flash, don't make it. Don't make a good job of this. Don't do a great job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the level we work at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Stickler, I went to Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio by the Sea, down on the border in Texas.
I see. There you go. See, the thing is about the United States is that you can go from one side of the country to the other and experience a whole wealth of different environments.
Yeah.
In the UK,
Del Rio by the Sea is a joke because it's actually in the middle of the desert, and it's the Del Rio River goes by, and there's a big dam called the hell's it called?
El Rio Dam.
No, it's
Big wall.
It's a dam on the Del Rio River. I can't remember what it's called. Lake Amistad.
Okay, cool.
Rio Grande. Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Del Rio. Rio Grande. Del Rio is
Right.
is the city. Rio Grande River, and it's called Lake Amistad, which is a great big lake from the Rio Grande. That's the sea. That's the joke. You're like, because it really is. It's out there. It's all the way south on the border. I guess it's really west of. I was going to say it's south of San Antonio, but I think it's actually almost due west of San Antonio.
But do you see? You've experienced in a country as the size of yours. You've obviously moved around with the military within the country as well as overseas. But moving within the United States is like going overseas to a Brit, because I can go from one coast to the other in the United Kingdom, and the same weather pattern follows me right the way across.
Yeah.
Whereas you have this vast land. You can go north to the Rockies or whatever it is.
Well, you definitely have some. You have some smaller kind of. They're just smaller changes. Like the south of England is actually quite different than Scotland.
Yeah,
it's much warmer and drier and the north of Scotland
nobody cares about living in Scotland, do they?
But you got the Peak District that kind of gets up there. You got the. I would assume that is the east side on the Channel quite a bit different than the Irish Sea or the North Sea coast.
I'll tell you what the difference is. Because the east side is within the Arctic wind pattern, so you tend to get on the east coast an awful lot of cold winds coming down from the Arctic and Russia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So during the winter, during the summer, what happens is the high pressure pushes up from the Spain and from North Africa and all that. So that's why it's very warm on the eastern, south, and southern coast of the United Kingdom, because the high pressure pushes up. But during the winter, it drags all this Arctic air down, so we get some serious crappy weather, which is the UK anyway.
Because I know in the world, like at Liverpool rural area, the summers, the summers can widely vary, even within a day or a week. Yeah. You get one of those squall things coming off of the North Sea, or North Atlantic, I guess, not North Sea, but North Atlantic. It can, it's 50 degrees in the middle of summer. Everyone's in coats and it's just drizzling down rain, and then 2 days later it's 80 degrees.
Baking hot. Yeah. And that's purely because the Atlantic, the jet stream, wherever the jet stream sits on the Atlantic, pulls in whatever weather it pulls in. So it's quite low. It pulls in a lot of wet and horrible weather. The jet stream's higher up. And Ireland isn't much of a buffer, to be honest, because you know what I mean. So it goes over Ireland and hits
hits you.
Coast. Yeah.
Vodka and rocks, thank you. Yeah, it's the number one weather channel, and we are definitely experts on weather, right? Vodka and rocks, thanks for the follow, much appreciated. Okay, did we start talking Steel Hunter? Is that where this started?
We did, yes. It's the mode that I can take or leave, and I appreciate those people who enjoy the mode, and it's good for them. And also, it's connected to what's that thing that's going on? I can't
Battle
remember.
Pass. Battle Pass.
Battle Pass.
Yeah.
But I thought that there's also credits to be earned as well.
A little bit.
Missions.
I'm just wondering about the relevancy of yeah, Cliffy. It was actually apropos that we just wandered off into doing something else, because that's what I feel like every time I think of Steel Hunter. Right? You see the butterfly, or you're like, oh, squirrel. Yeah, whatever. I mean, what's the point? What's the relevancy at this point of Steel Hunter?
It has no connection to the game other than it's a World of Tanks tank in a mode that has no connection.
Well, yeah, but it's less the fantasy tank thing. It's some kind
It's a
of
fantasy tank. It's not even a World of Tanks tank, really, isn't it? So,
does it grind crew experience in any way? That, like, the commander of the tank, is there any kind of crew thing? I don't even play it, so I couldn't tell you.
do you know what? I don't know, and I don't think it does. To be honest, I don't think it does. It doesn't do anything.
You make credits, so that's one thing. I don't.
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
make
yeah.
free experience? Is free experience part of what you get?
Do you know
out
what?
of
I've
it?
had about 3 games in it, and I don't know.
Anybody know in chat? I don't know.
Oh, does it, Howie? Well, Howie's saying yes.
Okay. To which part? Free experience. Maybe tomorrow
Okay.
I'll just do a week of Steel Hunter just to see.
That would kill you off. That would kill you off. You'd end up going to DayZ for relaxation.
DayZ sounds like a creepy knockoff motel chain in the United States. You know, you're driving down the highway. He's like, "Oh, honey, should we stay at the Motel 6 or the DayZ? Let's go to the DayZ. They have zombies. It'll be awesome."
See, I should really call it DayZ.
Yeah,
Because I'm British, yeah. I should call it DayZ, but it's no.
it's some creepy rundown hotel, and there's things with red eyes looking out of the windows when you go in there.
Yeah. And the noise. It's the noise it does me. I mean, as a tangent, and I know it's not World of Tanks and so on, but because obviously it's on headset, and you can't avoid it. It's the you're doing the sneaky beaky thing. You're sort of like on your haunches, creeping round a corner, and this thing does a moan right behind you, and it's like effectively here. It goes like this, and I go, shit! And then I turn round, it's the house general with a cup of tea.
Oh my goodness!
Stop doing that!
Here
You're
we
killing
go.
me.
Here we go.
You can't creep up on me like that. Not when I'm playing this silly game. It's giving me heart attacks.
All right, Stickler has an actual tanks question.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, okay, Stickler. Do you have any of the tanks? Is the first question. How would I rank them? I do have a ranking video. You probably saw it. I would say. Personally, it's the Char is number 1 for me. But if you're not an auto-loading medium person, the AE Phase 1 is probably the second best. So if you're a heavy person, it's the AE Phase 1. If you're any kind of mobile medium / light tank person, I think it's the Char is the number 1.
Yeah.
But you have 9 points, so that invalidates my Char. Because no, that's right. You can't get the Char for 9, right?
You can get
the
the Char.
it's the Kunza and the
Yeah.
K91 that are more. So yes,
Yeah.
you can get the Char.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Kunza Panzer is more points though. The Kunza Panzer is 18, right? Yeah, Char, Phase, and 777 for 9. So
Yeah.
Phase 1 or Char, Howie? That's my Stickler. Is that who asked the question? Yeah, Stickler. I think those are the two. Then I think as a solid good tank that you'll enjoy, the A Phase 1 camp is a no miss. I mean, it can't miss. It is a good tank. I do like the A. So
I did exactly that, Guido, because I had the 18, and so I got the Char and the AFA. The only problem I found with and they are superb tanks, and this is me not playing them right, is that I am, because of the reputation of those two tanks, in my head I'm thinking, oh, no, I'm bulletproof, so I'm far more aggressive in those two tanks than I would normally be and so therefore my win rate is a lot lower because I'm getting absolutely smashed, being overextended into positions where I shouldn't have gone. But because I feel like these are super tanks, for want of a better word, I'm putting myself into situations that really I shouldn't be doing. So you have to reduce that. You have to reduce that temptation to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Char 4. It can do anything and go anywhere. Bang.
The A phase one's got a really great turret for an American that tend to be rounded, but the thing that's different about this one is it's very angled as well. It's thick and well angled. It does have the weak spot of the hatch up here, but it's not gigantic like the M103. And it's offset, meaning that if you can cover that up, i.e. your cover's on the right side of the tank, it's a little bit harder to hit. This is a really good tank. But I also quite like the Charfooter, the Charfooter as we've been calling it.
The future. Yeah, the future.
Where is that dumb thing? There it is. And I've done well in both of them. I got a 74% in the Char at 101 battles, so I finished that one recently. And I've got a 64% in this, the AE, at 45 battles. So I like both of them. They're very good. I don't think you can miss with either one, but based on what you're saying, I think, hey, Low Blow, what's happening? I think it's the AE phase one would be my recommendation. Guys, check out Low Blow's content. He will very soon be launching a YouTube channel. More to come on that one. But,
and we expect him to be wearing decent underwear this time, not like he normally does on his Twitch channel. And I don't want to see melons and things. G'day.
Oh man, great DCS and other content, man. Cool. Pilgrim got his VE discount. VE Day decals. Decals all around. All right.
Hoplon wants to know about the 5 keys.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're hidden. Maybe they're hidden in Steel Hunter somehow.
Maybe that's what the mode's all about. Yeah. Now that's got my interest.
Somewhere on the Steel Hunter map is a garage that is opened with the 5th key.
With the 5th key,
yeah.
a special, the old school garage with a special
keymaster of Gozer. Yeah. Rick Moranis will come out and take you into the garage. All right, so Steel Hunter. I don't know why we even talked about it, but it's come. Maybe I will do that next week. Should I do that? Ow.
Well, if you're going to do it, you've got to do it both as solo and platooned up to get any real data out of it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna do it next week.
Me into it, aren't you?
Because you do get battle pass points, and I'm pretty close anyway, guys. You can see I'm at. I can afford to lose a whole week. I'm at 132, so I'm certainly going to finish battle pass, which has still I think 40-something days or so. So maybe next week will be Steel Hunter week, and I'll just see what happens.
Okay. Well, I'm more than happy. I don't believe I'm saying this, to platoon with you if you want to do a platoon in Steel Hunter.
It will be a good, what's the word I'm looking for? A good experiment to see whether I can actually stick with it for that long.
Okay, all right.
What's the over-under? Do you have an over-under on how long I'll last?
Well, I'm giving it like, what, in days or hours or minutes?
Days or matches or minutes or whatever.
I give it 10 games, and you will just... 10 games, mate, and you'll be like, I'm done with this. I am done with this.
10 games. Yeah, so while we've been talking, several people have been like, where the hell is Frontlines? That is a fantastic question, Wayne. The answer is soon, TM.
Yeah. Who knows?
Do you know what I think it is? They're not done screwing it up yet.
That's probably where it's at.
They got big plans, my friend. They got big plans.
Yeah, I think they're at the stage where they're having to revisit the things that they've done to it because it's turned out to be absolutely abysmally, horribly wrong.
Well, Wayne, it has always been advertised it was going to be in the last half of the year, and I think this is the final strong Steel Hunter. That's not true. There's 4 Steel Hunters. There's 4 Steel Hunters. Yeah. So there is one more Steel Hunter. I don't know why again, but there is. So towards the end of the year, does that mean the last half? I don't know. You're right. We're almost halfway through. We get to June, get to the end of June, and that's half the year. It's coming. I am hoping that what's delaying it is a new map. I have zero essay on that.
Yeah, now that would be interesting, wouldn't it? To have a third map on front lines.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Stickler says combine front lines and Steel Hunter and call it Front Hunter. Yeah.
Steel front, steel line. Hey, there's a buff coming up, guys, for a couple tanks. The Rompanzer. 3 of 4 of the most irrelevant tanks of all time. Rompanzer, M46KR, T95E2, and 59 Patton. Combined, weekly, these tanks are played twice.
But they were needed to be buffed because they're.
But all the buffs are fairly small, fellas. It's let me take a look. I think I have the article here somewhere. Where did it go? Gosh darn it. If I was professional, I'd have this already called up, but I am not, so deal with it. All right, here we go. As soon as Harkonnen's webpage loads up, which takes 14 years. Okay, Rompanzer. Reload time buff. DPM, that will increase that, obviously, without any change to alpha. From 1800 to 2000. That's actually pretty decent. I didn't realize this thing's gun was so atrocious. 0.42. Buffed to 0.4 from terrible to crap.
Yeah. Well, that's all right then.
Yeah, aiming time's actually pretty nice, but it's going to be even faster at 0.17, and it's getting a few more hit points. This one I think is getting the biggest buff. It probably needed the biggest buff because it was easily the weakest, I think, of these 3.
Yeah.
The 46 Patton KR is getting a reload time, which will increase its DPM into the 19, almost 2,000 region. That's not bad. Aiming time is getting better. That's cool. That thing was a little bit derpy as far as aiming time goes, taking a long time to zoom in. The T95E2, we discussed this. Anybody know in chat? I don't remember how you get this thing. I think it's a reward tank. I don't think it's even a premium, but I could be wrong.
No, I didn't think it was a premium at all. I assumed, that's why I asked you the question, it was either a reward tank or it was something that, was you won.
I want to say it was a Clan Wars attached thing, but
yeah, that rings a bell. I think that might be right.
And then there's the 59 Patton, which looks almost exactly the same because I believe it's carrying the same turret, basically, but on a Type 59 hull. It's getting aim time buff, dispersion during turret rotation, which is very minor. A little bit more power, so it'll be a bit more sprightly. If you remember, the Type 59 got a power buff a while back, which made it drive much nicer. So you're going from a power to weight of 14 to 17, which is going to make it feel like a different tank because it's going to be a little more mobile.
Yeah.
So that's the continuing saga of buffing the various.
Yeah, they're just bringing all their premiums up to speed, aren't they? Really, they're not overpowering them. They're bringing them up to the level of the game is at now. With the current set of premiums and the current set of tech trees. So,
Hopalon says all the maps should be size of Frontline. Yeah, man, I don't know. Bigger maps would be great, especially at higher tiers. I think they're fine up to about tier 6 or so. But I'm with you, especially tier 10. The size of the maps is game limiting.
Well, this is the discussion we've had on a number of occasions. Is the map size, and for me. Frontlines is one type of size map that I would really enjoy, but also Grand Battles, and people have told me Grand Battles, there's a big divide with Grand Battles. There's people who like it and there's people who hate it. There's no in between. I mean, I would rather play Grand Battles all day long, and I know you've got 30 on 30 with a Grand Battle, but the maps are that much bigger that you still have that ability to flex, and for a medium it is the best type of map. You can just zoom around everywhere and do what you need to do in a medium. I personally, but I think it was Randall that said that there is a problem with expanding the maps with the graphics packages. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a techie, but there is this problem of having that sort of render and having that sort of detail, because the graphic package for that map is so much bigger than if you make it that big.
Yeah.
And it kind of
it's certainly going to be. It's going to take more resources to run bigger maps for sure. They
Yeah.
ran into that with Frontline. People complained a lot about the optimization for Frontline maps, and it crushed a lot of computers. Even mine would occasionally, especially the early iteration of Frontline, that was quite buggy in terms of the optimization. They've done some improvement on that, but bigger maps would be nice. Instead of nerfing wheels, let's buff some never play. Yeah, Cliffy, exactly. I think another 2 or 3 players will flock to those tanks as soon as they're upgraded. I think it
Yeah,
was the first
absolutely.
recruit a friend, Cliffy. I think you're right.
Well,
But
the
I think it was
the
also,
T90.
yeah, I think it was also put in as one of the tanks you could build from Clan Wars. That whole build a tank thing. That
Oh,
there's a
right.
couple
Okay.
tier 8s that are
Right.
thrown in and amongst all that stuff. Whether it's the Clan Wars or because they do. There's Clan Wars, and then there's these one-off clan events or whatever it's called. So I don't know. I don't pay attention to it too close. Those things. The Ramplanzer will now snowplow the drive 0.6 seconds faster. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's important, as you say, on winter maps.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely good to recognise.
you gotta knock down some, you gotta knock some snow down. It would be, I don't know what the purpose of it would be, but if the scoop actually did something, it would be pretty funny.
Well, there was talk about it being spaced armor, wasn't it? But I don't think it is. I don't think.
It
I
is, I
think
think.
it's. Is it? Does
I
it have
think
a
so.
slight effect on it?
I think
Will it
so.
take HE?
I don't know that. I don't remember. I did a review on it, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years when it came out, and I haven't touched it since.
Possibly it's like the bed springs on the IS whatever it's called, the IS thing with the bed springs on the side. Because Geo and I took those into training rooms, and we did the HE thing, and it actually does reduce the amount of damage from HE shells.
Yeah.
So maybe it does that.
It does hide the lower plate. Just graphically, it's you can't see the lower plate because the blade's in the
Right.
way. Yeah. Kind of like some of the 3D, skins do. Kind of hides or
See,
obscures some of the weak points because there's so much crap hanging
right,
off of them.
right. Because people put various types of camouflage on the tank. The crazy stuff camouflage because it makes the weak points harder to see. The smaller weak points like the viewports and that. So people have put like zigzag camouflage on to make it difficult.
Sparky's looking for a break. You know what? We will. We're going to take a 5 minute break, guys. Good call. Good call. Let me get up, stretch out, refill my coffee, and we'll come back at 1 hour break. Give me 5 minutes, guys. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back. Thanks for hanging with us while we refresh our coffee and do other such things that breaks require. So we've got some extra follows here. We got here we go. This is a lot. Dave's not here. I missed that. Tree Run 79. How did I miss all these? Goodness gracious. Let me go back down to the last one I saw. Vodka Narc. So we got Tree Run 79. Thank you. Dave's not here. Dave's not here, man. We got Bogdanid. Thank you very much. Sanson, right on. And Goro22. Fantastic. XXII. Right on, guys. Thanks for coming by, guys and gals. Appreciate everybody. We do this every Sunday. We start at 7. And then we babble for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and talk about tanks and the weather and
anything else that comes up.
all kinds of things we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, but we're opinionated.
Yes,
in a genteel way.
And we say it with conviction. You know what I mean?
Oh, dear.
If you don't know what you're talking about, just act like you do. Fake it till you make it.
That's half the battle, isn't it? You know what I mean? If you look as though you know what you're talking about, people will just go, "Yeah, he knows what he's doing."
Yeah. Yeah, Wayne, get your consumables, man. That's what we were talking about earlier. They're on sale. Aussie Bushranger, what's happening? Palms and yanks. Palms and yanks. Oh my God.
That makes 2 Aussies in the audience.
Yeah, we've reached critical Aussie.
I was just going to say this is now we're at critical level. We need
Hold on.
Yeah. At least he's not from New Zealand. Nothing wrong with New Zealand, by the way. Good rugby there.
Sorry, we're just starting to gin up the Mom's Day stuff. The daughter is
of course, I forgot. It's Mother's
daughter's
Day
back from college, and she's gonna go get her a coffee and some things. All right, cool.
Nice.
It is Mother's Day here. It is not your Mother's Day though, right?
No, not over here. No, that was way back when, and plus, I don't do nothing for the house general because she's not my mother. You know what I mean? I don't care. The kids can do what they like, but they don't involve me.
See, I almost got lured into that trap. That's a trap.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a trap. Because yesterday we're driving along, coming back from the beach. Went out and had lunch with the daughter and the boyfriend. And
the daughter and her boyfriend, not the daughter and your boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, hers. So that discussion came up. It's Mother's Day. I said, well, I haven't been able to get out and get the stuff and, whatever. And she says, well, you don't have to get me anything. I'm not your mom. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, that's a trap.
Okay.
No, I cannot. I would not dare not get a card for her on Mother's Day telling her what a great mother she is.
Okay. That's probably where I've failed miserably for the last 30-odd years.
Well, if you've set the precedent and it hasn't cost you anything, now here's the question: has it cost you something? You may not know.
That's the point, because I'll never know, will I? I'll never know whether it's cost me something because I've never had it. I could have, it could. I don't know. There's the there's the matrix working right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What you could have had, but you don't know.
Yep.
Because it never happened, even though if it had happened, you would have missed it.
Which brings me a joke. Apologies right off the bat. She already lost two viewers, probably women. But why? Nah, you know what I'm not gonna do that.
No, this is not the #1 misogynist channel.
No. It's a great joke, but it's not worth it. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I always make sure the kids get something, but I don't give them any money towards it. You can sod off.
You just harangue them until they buy something?
I keep phoning them saying, don't forget it's Mother's Day. It's not my mother, it's yours.
Yeah.
Get a grip.
Yeah, Stickler, that's what we do. All kidding aside, I make sure it is appropriately marked. In fact, I have to get out to the grocery store in a little bit and get some steaks, because I'm gonna grill some steaks tonight.
Well, that's not. You see that? You see the that is a different effect. Okay, that is not. This is not altruistic of you, Guido, because basically you're just being selfish. You're having a cookout and you're just going to grill some steaks and call it Mother's Day stuff.
Well, okay, noted, valid, true. True, true. But on the other hand, I will end up doing all the dishes, and she won't lift a finger to do anything.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
is that. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
have a good batch of jalapenos from the first jalapenos. I'm going to make jalapeno poppers tonight too
Hey,
from
there
the
you
garden.
go. There you go.
Yeah. Did
Okay.
I tell you about the
You're
about
thoroughly
about
modern, you aren't you?
oh did I tell you about the pork cutlets I made the other day
No, you didn't. No, let's
with
let's let's hear the recipe. Or is it
garden
secret?
garden herb pork cutlets breaded.
Nice.
So take some
Nice.
panko, milk, panko, flour. Dip the pork cutlet in the milk, put it in the flour,
Right.
put it back in the
Yeah.
milk, put it in the panko, get it nice and crusty. Now in the panko is garlic salt, whatever salt you like. You could go with sea salt, any kind of if you like some kind of flavored salt, whatever you like.
Okay.
And then I went out in the garden and I started pulling some of the herbs I have, and I went, all right, I've got cilantro, otherwise known
Right.
as coriander for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got some rosemary. I've got
Nice.
some basil, as we
Yeah.
say,
Basil.
and I've got some oregano or
Oregano, yeah.
or oregano, as we say. So I've got
Okay.
all four of those, and I went, you know what? What happens if I put all these together?
Okay.
Oh, you can do
Well,
rosemary chicken, and you can do basil chicken, and you can do oregano chicken, and you can even do cilantro if you kind of like that Tex-Mex kind of taste. But I'm just going to grind up all these things together fresh, and put them in with the panko. Not a whole lot. I mean, I don't want it to be crazy, but I basically
No.
called it garden herb breaded pork cutlets.
You actually named it. You named it. Garden herb.
Well, I named it Guido's garden
We're
herb.
gonna make money. You made a name for it.
Yeah. And what I did with all the herbs is I Guido grinded them.
Well, like twerking, like this. Look.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And
Oh dear. Oh dear.
it was delicious, man. It
I
was
bet
delicious.
it sounds absolutely, yummy screwy. Well,
Randall,
check you
I
out.
did. I just made it up. You're right. I was out in the garden. I just pulled them out and took them inside and said, I'm just gonna see what happens. It was good.
See, herb. See, herb. It's got a H in it. Come on, come on.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Wayne. Guido's garden herb panko crusted pork cutlets.
There we go. We're going to make money off this. We are going to.
I'm going to tell you the cilantro was kind of the key. Not too much,
Okay.
because a lot of people don't like cilantro, but it has a really interesting taste. And if there's just a hint of it in amongst all the other goodness, it really,
Okay.
yeah, I should try it with lamb cutlets. You're right, Aussie. That would be good.
Yeah, because lamb has. I always find lamb is very tasty purely because it has quite a lot of fat content, so you get
Correct.
a lot of that.
Yeah, it's
you
got
know.
it's got a nicer taste than just a pork
Yeah.
cutlet. A lot of times,
Yeah.
because the pork cutlets are pretty bland,
Yeah.
really. At the end of the day,
They are, aren't they?
yeah. And it's more about how the sauce or what you cook them with for a pork cutlet. But a lamb actually has a taste.
Can we discuss our future careers in writing recipes down in a cookery book and selling it
Yeah,
online?
yeah. two idiots and their crappy cooking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be worse chefs out there, surely. I could do pudding and tea all day, spotted dick and tea.
Yeah, that'll be on the inside cover. Well, they're not the worst chefs you ever came across. There has to be a worse one somewhere.
Yeah, there's definitely somebody somewhere worse than us. But hey,
World of Tanks recipes. Wayne might be onto something there, actually.
could be there.
Because then we could name it.
it.
We could name them by tank names.
Yeah, we could the IS-22.
Yeah.
What the?
I mean,
Yeah,
really, what I did is kind of a '59 patent, right? It's all things all thrown together.
yeah. All things to all men and
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Wow. We get what food would be artillery?
What food would be artillery?
Yeah, semolina.
Anything with a laxative in it, probably.
Yeah, semolina pudding.
Something.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that's something made with a laxative. Sorry, guys.
What would be wheel cars? I tell you what we will, Carl, would be really red hot chili peppers, wouldn't it?
Wheeled cars would have to be cocktails.
Oh, do you think? Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
would,
because they
wouldn't
run
they?
around like
Yeah,
sprayed roaches, like
yeah,
drunken
yeah, they would, wouldn't
sailors.
they? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dodgy vindaloo. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it would dodge you in the loo. Yeah,
The super hot stuff from the place nobody really goes to. Yeah,
yeah.
there's a better one down the street. All right. We talked about triple on track. Prime Gaming Rockout is in May, so there's a new Prime Gaming coming up. I looked at the list of stuff. It's not. I don't think there's a commander involved, at least from what I could tell.
Okay.
So don't know on that. All right, let's look at this dev response. This will spark some conversation because I thought it was kind of interesting. Pilgrim.
Yes.
Excuse me. Pilgrim found this. It's from the RU or the EU.
Are you?
RU.
Yeah.
Let me get it called up here for you guys. All right, here it is. So, and I don't have the full context of the thread, but this is apparently one of the developers, right? Or is it he's a global moderator?
If you look at the red writing, it's either a developer or a moderator. I can't remember.
Okay, so maybe it's not a developer. Maybe it's a moderator. So unknown. A moderator may or may not work for the company. Really, to be honest, I don't know how they do their moderation on their forum, but probably a company person. But they may not be a developer. In any event. Reaper 404 has questions for developers. How and when was the balancer changed? Realize this is a translation from Google Translate, I'd imagine, so it's not quite right.
Yeah.
But of 10 battles for 8 levels, 7 fights with 10 are mandatory. The same situation 5-6. About 70% of fights skate at the bottom of the list, which simply kills the interest. His answer is, about the balancer has been written many times. The search will help you learn about it. So basically, go search it. Okay, well, I really despise that kind of answer. The dismissal of someone's question by saying, well, those answers exist. You just have to look for them. Dude, here I am. I'm asking the question. Right? Answer it. Not with go look it up somewhere else, dude. Give me your answer so we can spark a discussion. That's just lazy. If you don't want to be at the bottom of the list, play level 9 or 10 tanks.
Yeah. I mean, really?
Okay.
That's a brilliant answer, isn't it? I feel warm in the heart with that one, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, you will be on the bottom of the list if you play level 9 if you're in a tier 10 and 9 battle. So good answer, but not quite right.
No.
In the case of plus or minus 3, you won't be ever on the bottom of. You won't ever have 2 above you, I guess, is really the. Okay, then the second one's, why do the same cards, and this means maps, I think, fall out again?
Yeah, they use the word
Yeah.
cards, yeah.
Mine and Erlenberg, other cards banned, question mark. You are mistaken. The cards are always different, practically without repetitions. That's not true.
No, it's not true.
I've had repetitions.
We have it when we platooned up the other day.
We did.
Had the same map twice running.
Especially if in consideration of if you have an encounter and assault on.
Yes. Yeah.
If you have an encounter and assault on, you can often get the same map. It's slightly different because it's a different mode, or maybe the spawns are different. The maps don't change, but the spawns and the placement of the caps change, and the purpose of the map and all that good stuff. But you can easily get the same. We've had the same map because we played a game, chatted for 10, 15 minutes, started again, and got the same map.
Yeah.
So he's not mistaken. And again, this is translation stuff, so who knows how the translation goes in the Russian or whatever language it was done in. But really, it's kind of it's just not true. It's not a true answer. That's the real answer is it does happen on occasion, but a lot less than it did.
Yeah.
So he's not. So you say he's mistaken, and then he says it's practically without repetitions. And all the question was, how come we get the same map in a row? It's a lazy answer, basically, and it's not essentially true. How and when was the flashing principle changed? How was KV2 able to overexpose me? Oh, I think this is view range stuff, or maybe is it Sixth
Might
Sense?
be dispersion he's talking about, I think. I felt it was dispersion because he's saying the KV2 one-shotted him on the move.
Yeah. You allowed to use information. I think it was. I think it's both what you said and maybe talking about Sixth Sense potentially, and then he got hit moving or something.
Right.
This is actually a decent answer because he sort of explains it, and then he says you can find out information by reading different articles and watching training videos, which he doesn't link any of them to. But at least there was sort of an answer on that one. And then how can you not punch ELC of a 90 in the stern playing the E100 Jagdpanzer? Show me Raku. What is that word? I wonder what that is.
No, that's a derogatory term.
What's it mean?
Well, when he says show me, he said basically, prove it, idiot. Prove that. Because...
no, I got that, but what is the definition of Raku, or the translation?
No, I didn't look into that. I just know it's a derogatory term.
Yeah. Possible point of non-penetration, blah, blah, blah. So basically he bounced off of a ELC with a JPZ. Or he says he did, whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it's happened. I mean, I've had things bounce off tanks like that.
Oh, yeah.
It was a ricochet or even a miss, which is most likely. The weapon there is oblique and with weak stabilization, and the Yolka is a very dynamic tank. That must be a nickname for the ELC. So, he doesn't know that, really, what it was. Could have been a crit no damage on the tracks.
Yeah.
He's right.
When you're in game and you do that, I mean, I've done it with a Death Star against a light tank. And I had HE loaded, and I fired at this light tank, and I did something like 3 damage. And I was like, no, that's impossible. That's impossible. So either that shot went wildly past it, missed it, but you don't know, because in game it looks like it hit him smack right centre, and he could be saying the same thing. I hit the ELC right up the chuff with my Jagdpanzer, and it did nothing.
Yeah. But they do engage more. You were saying the interesting thing about it is that on RU they engage the devs and moderators engage the players much more on the forum, and it is more controversial or confrontational.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of. Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. They have a developers newsletter and a developers blog. So you can throw questions onto there, and the devs will come back and talk to you about stuff.
Yeah.
There's that. And also there's the attitude is basically, suck it up, Buttercup, get on with it. You know what I mean? What are you moaning for? We've got 20 million people playing this game in Russia. We don't really care about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
get on with it.
But at least they do that, right? At least they engage and answer. And I would imagine, to be fair, given answering enough of the same questions over and over, you would start to get a little salty as people come in. And I sort of scoffed the idea that, telling them to go find the information. There's a lot of it out there. There is a lot of truth to that. There are explanations to what the questions you're asking with even just a little bit of investigation. And I do appreciate being able to go to a single source and say, well, hey, what's the deal with this? But if you answer, 14 of the same question every day with people who don't want to put any kind of effort into learning it, and they just want to bitch about it.
Well, okay, let's do our devil's advocate on this. If you're a dev/moderator, global moderator, and you deign to answer that guy's question, then answer it. Don't fob him off. Because you're putting the effort into answer it by fobbing him off. Why not put the effort into answering by giving him a genuine answer? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Maybe. And wouldn't you, if you were like that moderator, you were going to engage in that kind of answer, whether you're a mod/dev or whatever it is, maybe you're a combo of the two. Wouldn't you have like a list of these places you're talking about?
Yeah, just throw it up there.
Here's a link to, and you could have one for vision mechanics. You could have one for how Sixth Sense work. You could have one for how the shot thing works. Have one for the different kinds of ammos, and just have a go-to hip pocket check this link out, check this link out, and then people can move on from there as they start to search around.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if that was just a rant, I think there was some genuine concerns in the question. There was a little bit ranty, but I think he was generally saying, how does this happen? I mean, how on earth do I hit an ELC with a Jagdpanzer and not obliterate it? And he may have put it over in a salty way, whatever, because of the translation. You don't know. But once you get that answer, if you get a decent answer, it goes away as a problem. It just goes away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Randall says the skill-based matchmaker thread on our forum is up to 1,100 posts. Holy cow!
Really?
Russian tech support. Russian tech support is the best tech support. Solo says, I guess Raku means butt. I'm assuming that's the one he was translating for us. That's interesting.
Okay, no, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, or ass or something probably is the idea. It's like listen ass, or listen, you know.
Yeah.
A couple guys got the VE Day drops. That's good. Stickler with 3 drops. Battle hits will help you with a lot of those. That's true. That particular mod will help you understand why things happened.
Yeah.
It is often just for everyone's SA. It is very often difficult to tell, even in replays, exactly what happened, because sometimes what's being shown is not what the server is doing or seeing.
Yeah.
So just be very careful with making a bunch of assumptions off what you see on a replay. Battle hits, I think, is pretty good at telling you exactly how a shot happened. The problem is you have to. I don't even know how it works, to be honest. I'm assuming it's
I don't.
some kind of UI mod.
I on that point I sent a ticket into Wargaming because I was on let's call it Himmelsdorf Valley or something. Can't remember what it was called. It's one of the maps. Well, every map's Himmelsdorf, but you just add something else to the end of it, don't you? But I was behind a building and I was killed through the building, and I went, oh, I'm going to ticket this. This is obviously a hack. Because when Wargaming, actually, to Wargaming's credit, they investigated it, they looked at the replay, and they actually showed me stills of the round passing through a window.
Yeah.
In the building, passing through the window, and it hit me. And I was like, it came straight through the building. No, it didn't, Pilgrim. It came through the window.
Yeah. Wall hacks.
So, to be fair, something like that, if they introduce that as a bona fide part of the game, that would be interesting and a lot more useful than some of the mods.
Well, there's so many mods, especially the UI creature comfort mods, they could have incorporated into the game easily. I don't know how easy it is. It takes some effort to do so, but somebody figured it out.
Yeah.
There's a mod that does it, so I don't know. Battle hits might go a long ways if they included it. It might go a long ways towards people putting to rest some of the conspiracy theories that they have about how the game works.
I think so. I think if you
if
can
they
actually
could come out of the battle, come out of the
Yeah.
battle and have it go, look, this is how it worked. And then they would start to understand that sometimes what they see in game or what they see in a replay is not quite what happened.
Yeah. You've said this before, and I've started to get my head around it now, because the server is milliseconds different to what you're seeing. So they could, quite possibly that shell has hit you.
Well, I had one yesterday with my CS44. I'm in.
Right.
I was in Himmel's Siegfried, and up by the church compound or whatever is in the middle of the town, and I was peeking out, looking. There's an E75. He was coming out completely sideways, and I'd shoot him, and then I'd back out and try to pull my front end out of the way, and he hit me twice in a row. And I went back, got the replay, and slowing it down. The shot is on the edge of the building. It is it goes and it looks like it might be slightly inside the edge of the building, but that's what the replay is showing.
Yeah.
And so I think it hit me before I quite got that far.
Got behind, yeah. I mean, even if you're only like 6 inches sticking out, it's gonna have an impact, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yep. So, and it's whatever. It's just part of the game. It really is. It collects where the server told you were hit and the impact angle. There you go.
Okay.
It would be good. I think it would be good to be part of the UI. I wish they would do that. It would also help with magic wheel complaints. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, most of the magic wheel hits are actually hits on the wheels that are lower than the hull. So yes, it hit the wheel, but it never would have hit the hull because the wheels are so tall on the wheel tanks. There's no hole down. The same thing happens with tracks. when you see that shot go slightly low and you get a crit no damage, it's hitting the bottom part of the tracks. It's not. There's no hole behind it to hit. That's why you're not getting any.
Yeah, because it's the hitbox, isn't it? You got there's that on
Yeah.
a lot of tanks. There's that thin sliver between the top track and the start of the upper plate, and you can get in there, and you can do damage. But that's the hitbox ending there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, the tracers, and again, that's part of it. Clippy's got it right. The tracer is not necessarily true.
No.
The shells may be ahead of the tracer. It may have already hit you, and the tracer's just kind of there. It's not exactly. It's what's been recorded on your client, not what the server said happened. Which that's the difference. I mean, I have a 60 millisecond ping generally. It's going to be less the lower your ping is. You should have less difference between you and the server. But you start getting 150, 200, like a lot of people play on occasion, it could be considerably different given those real small, snapshots in time right there.
Yeah, and I think there are times like the time I sent that replay in when you're almost you could swear blind. You could swear absolutely blind that that's what happened.
Yeah.
But then, if somebody takes the time in Wargaming to actually investigate it and send you the reply, you've got to be magnanimous in that and go, do you know what? Yeah, absolutely. I'm the idiot. I was sat by a window, or I didn't pull back fast enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, frame rates too.
I no longer question that now.
Yeah. I mean, it. Sometimes you just have to figure it out and you wonder. So I will dig into the replays and slow it down, take a look at it with all that information in the back of my mind, understanding that I'm not looking at exactly what happened, and then you can infer what happened because I'm pulling back. Yeah. It looks like it went through the building. The likely scenario is it hit me before I got to that point. And, the reviews or the replays are a little behind. Thanks to Camping ATK1, 20 minutes ago with the follow. Appreciate that. And Pat 12 Riot, welcome to the show, guys. We do this every Sunday from about 7 to roughly 9 or so if we get that far. But we call it Coffee Talk. We talk about World of Tanks and all kinds of other stuff.
I like that Pat 12 Riot. For me, it reads Patriot, but we'll go with Pat
I believe
12 Riot.
It's supposed to be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll go unless Patriot wants to tell us that I'm right and you're wrong.
Patriot. Oh, that's Brady's number when he's with the Pats, right? Am I right? I think I'm right.
I don't know.
Must be a Patriots fan, I'd imagine.
There you go. Oh, Patriot 12 was taken. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
See that surprised me when I did Pilgrim, of many pilgrims. Initially I had. See, this is the conversation we've had before. When I was Pilgrim 2223, you had a discussion and went, "Here's Pilgrim 2,200,000 whatever." Yeah. So I went, right, I'm just going to change it to Pilgrim of many pilgrims.
I said that's a lot of pilgrims.
Yeah, but Pilgrim is quite a popular name. If you try and get anything to do with Pilgrim on the NA server, it's like 90% of the server's called Pilgrim.
Holy cow! I've insulted Patriot right off the bat. He shows up, gives me a follow, and I tell him he's a Brady fan, and he's very, very much not a Patriots fan. He's a Jets fan. Oh, sorry, man. I apologize.
That was probably my fault because I led you into that, didn't I?
Who did the Jets? Draft, man? Didn't they pick up one of the quarterbacks? I can't remember. You got, or is Darnold? Is it Darnold? Is that who your quarterback is? Joe Namath, yeah. Zach Wilson. That's right, dude. I hope he does well, man. The home state of Utah. Yeah, I think he might be good. I'm making the call right now that what's the long-haired kid? What's the long-haired kid's name from Clemson?
I hope you're not asking me because I'm
not. I'm asking. Why can't I remember his stinking name? The surfer kid. Anyway, he's going to be a bust. Mark my words. He's going nowhere. And Trevor Lawrence. He's going nowhere. Yeah, he's going nowhere in the NFL. He'll be a backup somewhere in 2 to 3 years.
NFL, National Football League. I don't know
National
what's the
Football
NFL.
League. Yeah,
National-
we just had the big draft, so it's all the college kids that graduated or came out and went to the NFL just got the draft.
See, now you've got to explain this to me, right? As a Brit abroad, which I'm not, but as a Brit, college football, is that like a feed into the national game? Or
Yeah,
is it...
it's a really strange thing, dude. There really is no semi-pro or farm system for the NFL other than the
Right.
college system. There's been some various attempts at startups for other leagues and minor leagues here and there along the way, and I suppose there's probably a minor league or two somewhere on the East Coast maybe of football, but basically yes, college is the feed in
Right,
for
okay,
the
so
NFL.
like, unlike soccer, which has its tier system, so you've got the Premier Division,
Yeah,
Championship, Tier 1, Tier 2, and then all the amateurs below that, they
yeah.
feed up into that. You don't have that, you get fed directly from college football.
We have the same situation in basketball. Basically, college is the de facto system for that. Baseball, however, has a considerable minor league presence in the
Okay,
states. So yes, they do get them from college, but actually, if you're a prospect for baseball, like one of the top prospects, you don't even go to college. You just go to the minor leagues and start working your way up.
okay,
College is
alright,
a bit of a
okay.
sidebar for those who are education bound and still want to play.
Right,
Some people will come out of college and go to the league, to the big leagues, but
go to the big leagues
yeah.
direct rather than go through the minor leagues.
Well, no,
Because
no, almost nobody goes big leagues direct.
oh, so they go for the minor
Virtually
leagues. Okay,
everyone
yeah,
goes through a minor league, and it may just be a touch and go, but I don't remember the last time I heard of anyone that went straight to
right
the
in.
big leagues. They really want you to go to the minor leagues and prove some things first.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
which is fair enough. Right.
baseball's different that way. It's very interesting actually that way. So you
I
don't
quite
get
enjoy watching it. I've got no idea what's going on, but I do. I know the fact that you've got to run around and touch bases and things, and somebody hits a sort of like a ball thing with a
yeah,
bat. Yeah, I get that. But it's quite actually. It's quite empowered. It's quite. It gets you buzzing a little bit. It's like we call it rounders over here.
yeah. Oh, Stickler's
You
coming
know.
down to Pensacola Beach, man. Right on. Enjoy it. I will do what I can, but next week's not looking great, man. I think late next week we got some more storms coming through, but enjoy Pensacola Beach. Yeah, for baseball you don't get. It's interesting because baseball you don't get in basketball and football, especially the NFL, somewhat in the NBA, but very especially in the NFL, you get these high draft picks who are busts.
Right.
They just don't do anything. Baseball mitigates that by putting them through the minor league system. Plus, their rosters are so big. There's so many players.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't. You don't usually get somebody that rolls into a major league baseball team and then is just a complete bust and was expected to lead the team. It takes
Right.
a lot
Okay.
of seasoning. That happens in the NFL constantly because they'll get these high draft picks straight out of college and they just can't do the NFL thing.
Well, here's the question then. Here's the question, Brit abroad. If you've got the NFL league that has these high drafts from college, do they pay for that education? Do you get a scholarship then, of some sort,
As
as a
they play
football?
in college, they do. Yeah, yeah. That's how they draw.
Really?
That's how they draw
So
talent. Yeah, you get full rides and stuff.
wow.
Yeah,
So how do you get onto that then? You perform well at lower school and
sure.
somebody
In high
picks you up,
school, yeah. So it's high school, college, NFL. That's the iteration.
your postman's here, mate.
Yeah, somebody is out there because she's not happy about it. Hey, she looked at me. Oh,
Right, well, that's
here's
interesting
some.
because then that's money invested into a player that you hope is going to be good enough to get into your team then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, no, I
Wow.
mean they don't invest anything. The NFL doesn't invest jack squat. This college
No, they
is
pay for it. The college pay for it.
college pays for it. See, this is the problem. One of the problems with the whole system is
Right.
it's these kids go to these colleges and they essentially pay for free. The argument being, well, some of them are on scholarship, not all, but some. If you're a top
Okay.
prospect and you're very much going to the NFL, you probably have a full ride scholarship with one of the big teams. Not necessarily, but probably. So the colleges end up paying for it, and these things are gigantic money generators for the colleges. They got
Right,
the big
okay.
coliseums and the fans and the selling merchandise and all the things that they do, and the kids don't get anything. In fact, there's rules against them getting paid.
Right. Which makes sense. Which makes
Well, it
sense.
does on the one hand and it doesn't on the other, because what ends up happening is if a kid's really good, they'll leave their sophomore junior year and go to the NFL. Why would they stick around?
Yeah.
Risking injury, risking maybe they have a bad year and their stock goes down. Maybe the team just sucks and their stock goes down because they don't get enough
Right.
national
You've
coverage.
got to make your money when you can, aren't you?
Right. There's a
Especially
lot of
that.
there's a lot to it. It happens the same thing with the NBA and coming out of college basketball. Guys leave early. Not all of them. And a lot of them will finish their schooling
Sure.
as they're doing their professional career. So I get it on the one hand, and on the other, it's very interesting.
Well, you see, for me, that is highly interesting because it's the epitome of capitalism in that sense. Is that somebody's investing in that person, be it time or money,
Yeah.
and somebody's and it's to be honest, as you say, it's money driven. The colleges make money out of it, so and they have to make money because it's not a free business, is it? So,
Yeah.
but the fact that you can get on a scholarship and get your education free, effectively, is marvelous. It means surely that disadvantaged kids who are good at sport get a chance.
Yeah.
I would assume that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely good bad in the way it goes. I don't know. It's just an interesting way the big sports do it. Yeah, where's my money exactly? And that's kind of what they come down to.
Yeah.
They'll leave before their senior year just because the risk to reward is too high. They'd rather go start in the NFL, make the money. They'll finish their schooling. They usually do. They finish their schooling online or however in the background while they're doing their professional career. Most of them finish their degree. But they don't. But you don't get that last, great year of that senior year of that fantastic football player that's been doing so well, at your school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's the shame. That's the shame of it. But yeah, I quite like that idea, though. Generally as an idea, I think it's quite altruistic, really. In that sense. Grinny's in the house.
Hello, Granny. I just dropped her. I just dropped the link to her Twitch. Check out her stream. Friend of the channel for sure. So here's away from sports now. The dog barking reminded me of this. I'm sitting here yesterday in the office here, sitting in the orifice, and just got done working, moving some of the dirt. I'm a bit of a dirt farmer at this point, and then I start hearing this sound. My neighbor's house is right, probably 10 feet, 12 feet across from that window. That's a little thin part of the side yard right there. Maybe it's 20 or 30 feet really, but anyway, it's right there. I'm sitting here thinking about doing a video and some things, and then I hear a drum set kick off.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So they have like a 10, 12-year-old son who has apparently decided he's going to be a drummer. It's not good drumming.
No, it's okay if there's rhythm, but you know what I mean?
Well, plus I'm like, all right, that's great. How many times when I sit down to do videos am I going to have drummer guy? It's bad enough dealing with the dog barking at the because I don't know how many videos I've had interrupted by the dog barking or somebody knocking on the door. Or, now I've got
Drummer kid.
Drummer kid. I'm trying to think of what was the Rush drummer that just died? I can't remember his name. I was going to try to say his name, but anyway.
Or Animal off the Muppet Show.
Yeah, I got it exactly. It got animated.
Dear, oh dear. Well, do you know what? There's a parallel here. Do you know what? This is really spooky.
Neil Peart, that's his name.
There you go, Neil Peart. There is an absolute parallel with your abode and my abode, because my back neighbour is also a drummer. But to his credit, he drums in the garage and he's got it soundproofed.
Oh,
so
good.
You can hardly hear it. Yeah, it's cool. He's got those cardboard cone things.
Yeah.
So,
but you can kind of faintly hear the.
You could, faintly. But he is actually very good.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of rhythm and everything. Because I play my guitar, but I'm not soundproofed. So he goes, "Oh, I heard you played the guitar the other day. You're not that good, are you?" I went, "No." You know what I mean?
You
So
Pilgrim was
yeah,
jamming out, jamming
yeah.
out.
I can purposely open all the windows just to annoy the neighbours, because the average age here is about 80. So as soon as I start jamming the rock stuff,
Artillery bugs, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, number one stream for talking about random stuff. Well, we sort of ran out of tank stuff today because there's just not a whole bunch of
yeah,
anything
we
going
did, didn't
on.
we? We did.
You know.
Yeah.
So the last thing I had is I was watching the Russian Victory Day parade, which was actually pretty cool. And what I liked about it was the lead element for all the armored vehicles was a gaggle of T-34s. There must have been 6 or 8 of them in there. They have a bunch of running T-34s that they
Yeah,
use for
cool.
these parades and stuff. That was actually kind of cool. Kind of cool.
I guess the good thing about that tank is because it's such a simple design and simple make that the maintenance of it is fairly simple to do. It hasn't got electronics all over it and everything else that you'd have to keep up to scratch. So, yeah, you probably keep. It's like the old cars used to get back in the day. They run forever because all it is a small engine
Yeah.
in a chassis with 4 wheels, isn't it? There's no ICUs or anything else, is there? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
that was pretty cool. And then I watched the airplanes too. They got flankers and MiGs and
oh,
some
really? Oh, have they got the old?
Su-25s.
I thought you were going to say yaks and stuff like
No,
that.
I didn't
No.
see any World War II stuff. It might have been in there. I sort of was
Cool.
scanning through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, cool.
I would imagine there probably was some kind of World War II flyby. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I saw their modern stuff. It's pretty cool to see all that stuff.
I mean, they're still pulling World War II tanks out of various bogs and rivers and all sorts,
yeah,
aren't
yeah.
they? I mean, they're still there, aren't they? They're still, pretty much rusted away now, but yeah, they're still pulling them out.
Yeah, that's
There was a YouTube video of them pulling a T-34 out of a swamp,
yeah.
and that was like, I mean, it looked pristine when it came out. So,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, all right, man. Any questions from the crowd? We're gonna wrap this thing up. We had a lot of viewers today. I want to thank everybody for coming by. I'm Guido. This is a Pilgrim beside me right here, and we do this every Sunday. I also stream, so hit me up with a follow there, and you'll know when I start to stream. We have Grinny come by on occasion as well. Pilgrim and I will platoon. I platoon with followers and viewers. Doesn't even have to be a follower really. So we do platoons. We do requests. And just generally have a good time, pretty low key. But this is an every Sunday thing, goes from 7 to roughly 9 by the time we're done. And we just talk about what's going on with World of Tanks last week and coming up. And we're pretty much down at the end. So Grinny says the neighbor does karaoke. What?
Do you want to talk willies?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, we had the question. we had the question last week about what was Little Willie, what was Big Willie, what was the weight of Little Willie, and what was the weight of Big Willie, and what was Big Willie's nickname, and also who built them. So the question's still valid, and it's still for 500 gold for the answer. So let me know by PM, or if you got the answer straight away now, you've got to get all 4 of the answers in one go. You can't pick and mix. But let me know by PM in game or on Discord or whatever. And I'll announce the winner next week. If nobody gets it by next week, I'll give you the answers. I'm not going to give you 1,000 gold.
And we'll move on to the next, yeah.
And we'll move on to the next question. Okay.
I will be streaming on stackup.org tomorrow from 4 Central till 6. So thanks for the reminder there, Randall. My next scheduled stream will be Friday. I usually do kind of midday, so it'll be somewhere around 10 or 11 Central, and we'll go for 2 or 3 hours on that. And I will probably, depending on my schedule, have something pop up in the midweek, but I just don't know what time right now. And that's pretty much it.
Gritty's just made me laugh.
What's
Gritty,
that?
don't ever feel disadvantaged because we talk willies.
I was trying to let it go. I was trying to let it go. These are tanks, by the way. I probably just gave something away right there, but they're actually tanks. The British do that. They have the cutesy, funny little names for stuff,
I know.
and they seem to largely be
I've turned the same colour as this. Sorry, Gritty.
What's the word I'm looking for where you kind of ignore the thing? They seem to be generally unaware. Not.
Yes, there's innuendo, isn't there? There's the British innuendo side of things, and then there is the
Yeah, but they're very forward with it. They just they're not embarrassed to say the thing. They just say it and and go
because
on.
it is it's not referring to the.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about a cultural thing about how a lot of Brits will say stuff like that, and I think in the back of their mind they know there's the innuendo part, but they don't acknowledge it. They just keep rolling.
Absolutely.
And whereas Americans tend to be a little more juvenile about it and sort of giggle and snicker and wink, wink, nod, nods.
Yeah.
Where I'd get a laugh out of the Brits because they'll just roll with it. And then there's the Aussies who will just say the most outrageous things.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like
The Aussies they're on a different planet to the rest of us.
there is a level of cursing that only happens in Australia.
Yeah.
Public conversational swearing that just is beyond the pale.
Yeah, it's like every second word has to be that word.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They are fine connoisseurs of the C word. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely. I mean, they have marvelous. I mean, yeah. Look at Cliffy. Criminals tend to do that, but the penal colonies.
They have a lot of unique words too.
They do.
Very unique to Australia.
Australia.
Yeah, they have a lot of very unique words.
Yeah.
I think we do probably to you guys as well. But I don't notice it because I speak
you do.
the American
you guys
version.
have. I mean, you've managed to take the Queen's English and absolutely bastardize it. So you know, good on you, mate.
That's because we turned it into George Washington's English.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. George Washington. Sheila. G'day, Sheila. Yeah, they have fair dinkum, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Billy Bong. What's a Billy
Yeah.
Bong? Is that William hitting a bell? Billy Bong? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it?
No worries, which is not that special. I mean, that's pretty easy to figure out what it is, but no worries, I guess that could have been.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got a follow from Cyberfly right at the end. Thank
Lovely.
you so much for coming. Thanks for the follow. All right, that's pretty much it from me. Pilgrim, you got any final words?
No, I'm done.
Parting
Ran out
shots?
of words.
I've used all the words I'm going to use on you. All right, that is it from the left side of the Atlantic.
And that is it from the correct side of the Atlantic.
We'll see you.